incredible claim by a respected Oxford researcher. He says he has proof that the Yeti, the abominable snowman of the Himalayas, is in fact real.
High in the frozen mountains, the wind carries more than bitter cold. Hikers vanish, cameras drop, and through the storm, something walks upright in the snow. These are the 6 scariest Yeti encounters ever caught whilst hiking. At 17,500 feet, the world falls silent. The air thins, the sky turns pale, and even the mountains seem to hold their breath. Among the scattered tents of Everest Base Camp, the ground feels otherworldly, a field of broken stone beneath a sky of endless white. It was here, in November of 1951, that a British mountaineer named Eric Shipton made a discovery that would haunt explorers for decades.
Near here is where Shipton took his remarkable photograph.
Late in the afternoon, as light faded across the glacier, Shipton and Dr. Michael Ward stopped in their tracks.
A couple of miles from here, and then suddenly they came across a set of huge footprints that went away from them down the glacier, and it left them completely mystified.
The mystery footprints were about 12 inches long and 5 inches wide.
Before them stretched a line of massive footprints pressed deep into the frozen snow, leading down the glacier and disappearing into the mist.
Shipton even had the presence of mind to use his own ice axe to give a sense of scale.
Each print measured nearly 12 inches long, 5 inches wide, and was shaped like something human, but not quite. Shipton dropped his ice axe beside one for scale, his breath trembling in the cold air.
The only animals that could even conceivably be on a glacier at this altitude. But the Sherpas knew exactly what they were.
At that altitude, no animal should have survived, nor should man have wandered there. Yet something had walked across that ice.
A member of the Shipton team, Tom Bordelon, saw the footprints a few days later.
The Sherpas who saw the prints needed no explanation. They whispered one word that carried through the camp like a curse. On a freezing winter night, a group of boys drove along a lonely mountain road. Snow covered the trees, and the ground shimmered under their headlights. Laughter filled the car until the driver suddenly slowed down. Far ahead, something large was moving across the road. Its shape was tall and human-like, covered in pale fur that glowed in the cold light. It turned its head toward them, frozen for a second before vanishing into the dark woods. The boys sat in silence, hearts pounding, certain they had just seen the creature people only whispered about, the Yeti. Snow covered the peaks as silence filled the air. A shape moved between the white slopes, calm yet watching. Through the cold mist, a tall figure appeared, walking upright like a man among the frozen rocks. Each step pressed deep into the frozen snow, slow and deliberate, as if something massive walked with purpose. The prints stretched far apart, their shape strange and wide, too heavy for any human to make, too precise to be an accident. Huge footprints stretched across the white snow, freshly pressed and clear. They moved in a perfect straight line, untouched by wind or time. Each step looked massive, too wide and deep for any man to make, sinking heavily into the snow as if made by something far stronger. He kept filming quietly, his hands trembling as he realized those shapes might belong to something alive, watching from the dark. Out of nowhere, a strange shape appeared between the snowy trees. The man filming froze, his breath turning white in the cold air. He slowly zoomed in, his hands shaking as the camera focused on something tall and strange moving between the frozen trees. Then it began to move upright on two legs, its frame tall and heavy, cutting through the fog with slow, deliberate steps that left no doubt something unnatural was walking there. This man was filming deep inside a quiet forest when sudden movement caught his eye. Between the trees, something tall and dark ran swiftly through the mist, its shape towering and human-like, yet strange enough to freeze him in place. He gripped his camera tightly, heart racing fast, struggling to focus on the dark moving shadow that seemed to glide between the trees. For a brief second, the creature stood upright, watching him from afar, before vanishing silently back into the forest, leaving only trembling branches behind. If these 6 Yeti encounters sent chills down your spine, remember, this creature never sleeps. It only watches and waits. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next scream in the dark might not come from an animal at all, but from something older, deeper, and unseen.